The service park headquarters are 80 kilometres south of the capital Amman and rest alongside the Dead Sea, the lowest location on Earth at 400 metres below sea level. Weather further delayed the docking in the Israeli port. As a result of these unavoidable delays, the FIA, the WRC teams and WRC Jordan organisers have revised the itinerary, having been forced to lose the Day 1 stages. Day 1 will now be scrutineering, shakedown and the start ceremony in Jerash. Every rally this year, we're selecting a featured driver. This weekend, it's Ford's Khaled Al Qasimi. The Emirati earned his World Rally stripes on terrain like this here in Jordan. Back to the delivery of the vital equipment to the teams. As the sun set over the Dead Sea, the container ship had docked in Haifa and cleared customs. The wait for the trucks to arrive was finally over at 1:30 a.m, the night before the rally was due to start. The teams had assembled their mechanics and engineers in the service park, poised to unload their equipment from the convoy of 37 trucks, some of which had been on the road since Portugal nearly 3 weeks ago. As soon as the trucks pulled into the service park, it was action stations as the teams would work through the night to get their cars ready for scrutineering and shakedown the following day. For round 4, gathering pace, let's take a look at the championship standings. Mikko Hirvonen and Sebastian Loeb locked together on 58 points. Jari-Matti Latvala is just 10 behind, with Sebastian Ogier 4th and Petter Solberg 5th. In the manufacturers' standings, Ford lead the way ahead of their great rivals Citroën. Just 10 points separate the two factory teams, with M Sport Stobart third. It has been a fascinating 3 rallies so far this season, so let's remind you how we got to this point. That's the WRC season up to date then, and since Portugal, there's been plenty going on elsewhere in the rally world. Ken Block was back to his Gymkhana antics in London recently. The American, who isn't competing in Jordan, was relieved to get back behind the wheel after that terrifying Portugal crash.
That crash was pretty much the worst crash I've ever had in my career. It was really disappointing for me because I'd had a lot of good testing before the event. I'm starting to really get used to the car. My notes are getting better and better. So the crash on the shakedown is actually one of the worst things that you can do as a driver. So I was just really mentally quite devastated from all that.
This latest Gymkhana course for Block was in the shadow of the famous Battersea Power Station and saw the Monster World Rally team driver reunited with the Ford Focus World Rally car for the first time since last season. It was an impressive backdrop and an impressive display from Block as ever. Meanwhile, the countdown towards Mini's return to top-level rallying has continued with the team's official launch of the John Cooper Works WRC alongside their drivers Chris Meek and Danny Sordo this week. The team will make their competitive debut at the next round in Sardinia. Welcome back. So after a Herculean effort by the teams to get the service park built and the cars prepared, we'll finally see the WRC's finest in action as they take on the testing 2-kilometre shakedown stage. It's an early indication of what to expect in this unique event, and joining former Middle East champion Khaled Al Qasimi here, you can see why. There are hard, dusty gravel roads like this throughout the rally in Jordan, and with new Michelin tyres to adapt to this weekend, the crews have limited time to get their setups honed in after all the delays. Kimi Räikkönen is one of the first drivers to make an impact in the shakedown timesheets. After 2 top 8 finishes so far this year, the former F1 star is in good form and also scored a top 8 finish in Jordan last year. You can see the bleak, featureless landscape here that make this event such a challenge. One driver who will undoubtedly make an impact here in Jordan is Sébastien Ogier. The Portugal winner hasn't let the delays distract his focus, and the Citroën Total man is looking confident with a time a second faster than Kimi. With the roads the same colour as the verges, accurate pace notes are essential, as we heard earlier. Mikko Hirvonen has certainly made the most of this rather bizarre start to round 4. This shakedown stage is invaluable testing time to evaluate the new Michelin tyre, which has been given a stronger structure to help avoid punctures. Mikko will hope for a strong finish in Jordan after crashing out here last year. And so far, the championship leader is pleased with the morning's progress.
What have you found on the couple of runs you've done so far?
Well, I found that it's very, very slippy. But everything is working fine, and you know, fairly happy with the setup. It was a bit low already on the shakedown. There's quite a lot of loose rocks, but all okay. So, you know, we're ready.
Hirvonen is now the man to beat in the shakedown stage with a time of 1 minute 15.9 seconds. The next man through is Jari-Matti Latvala. There are no prizes, of course, for winning this test stage. It doesn't count towards the final rally, but it is an interesting form guide. And there is not going to be much between the two forward men here. Well, the Finns very evenly matched in this short shakedown stage. There's 1/10 of a second between them.
Gary, it's shakedown day in Jordan. Does it make a difference? Is there more pressure on shakedown when the rally's now only 2 days?
It's been a bit frustrating time to wait, and actually I was very excited that finally we can get behind the steering wheel and we can drive. That was my first impression when I got to the shakedown, and but not really pressure, but it's just the feeling that yes, now we can drive.
That's the forwards through then. They'll hope they avoid the technical gremlins that blighted their Portugal runs. That event was dominated by the Citroën Total drivers. Sébastien Loeb felt he could have won were it not for a delay in Hirvonen's dust trail there. Loeb won in Jordan last year, though. He'll take some beating on these roads. Seb is 3/10 of a second quicker than Latvala in shakedown and is already thinking about his tactics in the now 2-day rally to come.
It will be very important not to lose too much time the first day because it's only 1 day to try to catch up the gap. So we will see. We are second on the road the first day. It's not an advantage for sure. So I will try to push and we will see what we can do.
Petter Solberg has left the first 3 rallies a frustrated man. In terms of stage wins this year, only Sébastien Loeb has scored more, but technical failures and punctures have held him up so far this season. Despite his lack of testing on the new tyres, Petter could be quickest of all here.
5 left tights, 4 minus tights, 2.
Yeah, 4/10 quicker than Loeb. It's the Norwegian who is the quickest man in the shakedown stage.
Friday morning, great road position. What's the plan for tomorrow?
Just go.
Rally Jordan also marks the second round of the SWRC category for drivers using normally aspirated Super 2000 machines. The favourite here is undoubtedly Nasser Al-Attiyah. The 6-time Middle East champion is a former winner in Jordan before it joined the WRC, and having been excluded from the last event in Mexico after leading from start to finish, the Qatari driver will be desperate to get a win under his belt. Nasser faces a formidable lineup though. Making his SWRC bow for 2011 is Evan Brynildsen. The Norwegian youngster has an abundance of talent, and with his Skoda Fabia being run by his compatriot Petter Solberg's team, he has a strong squad backing him up. Also competing in his first SWRC event of the season is Bernardo Sousa. The Portuguese star crashed out from his WRC debut at his home event 3 weeks ago. So he'll hope his switch back to his Super 2000 Fiesta brings him better luck. And keep an eye on Jordanian Ammar Hijazi. Could his local knowledge help him power his Skoda Fabia to a podium finish? We'll keep you updated on the SWRC runners throughout the weekend. All that remained for the crews on this opening day was the drive north to the official opening ceremony among the spectacular Roman ruins in the ancient city of Jerash. Our featured driver Khalid Al-Qasimi meeting His Royal Highness Prince Faisal as he passed over the start ramp. Finally, after an incredible effort from all involved in the sport, the 2011 Jordan Rally is up and running. It's going to be the day when Rally Jordan would potentially be won or lost, and that has not changed. After leaving the service park at the Dead Sea, it's a charge through the blisteringly quick Sawaima stage and then the more twisty technical Kaf Rain. Every rally we select a stage of the day. Here in Jordan, it's the 41 kilometres of Jordan River. One of the most challenging stages of the season. Win this stage and you stand a good chance of going on to win the rally. We also select a driver to follow throughout the weekend, and here it's Emirati Khalid Al-Qasimi. We'll follow his progress throughout this crucial day here in Jordan. The 6 stages ahead will test the WRC's finest as they tackle a combination of blisteringly quick, tire-torturing roads peppered with high-speed blind crests. This is World Rallying at its very best, and you've got the best seats in the house. This is how the WRC crews will line up on the first stage. Mikko Hirvonen starts ahead of Sebastian Loeb. The pair are currently tied on 58 championship points. Third in the title race and third on the road is Jari-Matti Latvala. Sebastian Ogier is fourth. Peter Solberg will hope for an improvement in luck and has a favourable road position starting fifth. Then come the M Sport Stobart drivers Mads Osberg, Matt Wilson and Henning Solberg, with Kimi Räikkönen, Federico Valagra, Dennis Kuipers and our man Khalid Al-Qasimi among the last WRC runners. So finally, after an incredible effort from all involved, Rally Jordan is about to get underway for real. We've lost the first day, but there are still 14 daunting stages to come. So Sawaima gets us underway. An incredible, fast and flowing stretch of road. It's a stage where brave drivers can really make an impact. First up, Mikko Hirvonen. And just taking this stage for a second, it really is an awe-inspiring road. Mikko, of course, facing the worst of the loose gravel as the front runner, and he's suffering as a result. Back in the stage, though, his great rival Sebastian Loeb is looking in inspired form. It often appears that the world champion is driving within himself, but not this morning. The Citroën Total man is taking some incredible risks as he seeks to set down a marker. It's been quite some run through the incredible Sawaima stage.
That stage time isn't road cleaning.
No, for sure. I gained that by pushing for sure. But we'll see the other. I don't know. We'll see.
Loeb making a really bold statement then. Jari-Matti Latvala is next to pass through. You can see why accurate pace notes are essential here. It's really difficult to judge the road verges with everything such a similar colour. Jari's pushed hard, but despite running behind Loeb on the road, he's almost 6 seconds slower. Next up is the winner from the last round in Portugal, Sebastian Ogier. The Frenchman has been locked in battle with his all-conquering teammate Loeb for 2 rallies now and has shown good pace in the Jordan wilderness in previous years. Let's see how his time compares to Loeb. He's running 2 cars further back, so he should have more grip, but I'm not sure he can beat him. Oh, he's going to be slower. That really was a stunning time from Loeb. It's going to be tough to beat. And attempting to match Seb's incredible benchmark now is Kimi Räikkönen. Kimi trying a huge cut there, but it's not worked out for him. He got the car crossed up. The Finn has looked a bit ragged in Sawaima then, and unsurprisingly, he doesn't get anywhere near Loeb's time. As he promised before the rally, our featured driver, Sheikh Khalid Al-Qasimi, has taken a safety-first approach, but it has been a solid start for Khalid. Taking a huge cut there, a very Middle Eastern style of rallying, and he has set the 10th best time.
Early braking, right.
Loeb the man to beat then as we head into the 17 kilometres of Kafrain, and this couldn't be a more different challenge from the fast-flowing roads of the Jordan Valley. We've moved up into the hills above the Dead Sea, and these tight, twisty roads are causing problems for the front runners. Mikko Hirvonen is really struggling. The effects of road sweeping is amplified on slower, twistier roads as every touch on the brakes and accelerating out of slow corners means more slide lost. There's nothing Mikko can do but push as much as he can and keep his lines as tidy as possible. There is so much loose gravel that Kafrain's actually proving incredibly slippery for most of the top five. Loeb's also struggled, and Hirvonen's teammate Latvala too is finding it really tough going. Absolutely flat out here. Whoa, and Jari's off the road. Big impact under the car as he crosses the rocks, but I think he's got away with that. A lucky escape for Jari. There is almost no grip in places in this technical stage, but Sébastien Ogier has managed to keep it together and could make an impact on his teammate Loeb's advantage. That's the target time he needs to beat to take over the rally lead. Absolutely incredible stretch of road to the finish here as they plunge into the valley. Oh, not quite, but they are now on the identical overall time. Could we have another epic fight between the Frenchmen on our hands in Jordan? Well, it looks like the stage is finally beginning to clean, and Petter Solberg is taking full advantage of his superior grip after a slightly disappointing run through Sawima. Ogier is the fastest man through so far, but I think Petter could go quicker. Yep, Solberg is back in the game. A fastest time for the Norwegian, and he closes right up on Latvala's fourth spot. That stage win for Petter leaves him just 4.8 seconds off the rally lead, with Loeb and Ogier locked on an identical time in the top spot. Latvala's third, just half a second ahead of Solberg. Further back, Hirvonen is in fifth, but 24 seconds off the pace. For 41 kilometres, this road snakes along the course of this historic waterway. Following the border with Israel, it begins with some of the greenest areas in Jordan, but also passes through a distinctive undulating section with an almost moonscape feel before it flattens out towards the finish. It's the longest stage of the season so far, and is an absolute classic. First to tackle this iconic stretch of road is Mikko Hirvonen. It has been a difficult morning so far for the first man on the road, and with over 41 kilometres to negotiate, this could really be a tough stage in his role as road sweeper. Just look at that dust trail behind the Finn. Sébastien Loeb, meanwhile, got off to a blistering start this morning, but again his teammate and compatriot Ogier has responded to his challenge. As we've seen in the two previous runnings of Rally Jordan, the mammoth Jordan River stage can play a big part in the outcome of this event. Back on the start line is Jari-Matti Latvala, the Finn, looking as focused as ever. Jari blasts off into our stage of the day. Really narrow through the undergrowth here and there. Could be stones and rocks hidden anywhere amongst the greenery. Even so, this is terrific commitment from Latvala, and some fans alongside the road willing him on there. One of the drivers we really need to keep an eye on in Jordan River is Sébastien Ogier. With a clearer line, he could make a real impact in this long stage. And another aspect to consider in Jordan River is tyre wear. The new Michelins being used this weekend have a stronger structure to avoid punctures, but that could mean an increase in tyre wear. They're not as forgiving as their predecessors. Incredible scenery here as we rejoin Loeb up ahead in the stage. A first glimpse of the distinctive moonscape section as the cars plummet down into this bowl before attacking up the other Looking at the early split times, there's not much between the two Citroën Total drivers at the moment. We're back on board with Ogier. We can follow him through the split time after 33 Ks in a moment, but a chance now to see Sebastian's in-car telemetry. In one of the technical sections of Jordan River, plenty of gear changes. Hard work in the heat of the Middle East for these manual shift cars of the 2011 breed. And coming up to that split time now. 6.7 seconds up on Loeb after 33 kilometres. That has been a big push from Ogier in the latter half of the stage. Well, that later row position perhaps beginning to tell in this long stage then. And let's follow Ogier now through the last few corners. Sebastian searching for the fastest line, fighting for fractions of seconds through every corner. And he has smashed Loeb's time, 7.4 seconds quicker. A cracking drive from Ogier in Jordan River.
Quicker than anybody else so far. The day just gets better for you.
Yeah, it's okay. It was a good stage. Quite long and quite hot in the car, but it's okay.
Ogier, the man to beat, and a man trying to beat him back in the stage is 2003 world champion Petter Solberg.
6 left long, tightens 1, opens half long, keep in. It's 1 right, and line 3 left plus, tightens 1 plus.
Oh, a bit of a moment as the Norwegian hurls his Citroën DS3 through this quarry. He's giving it everything. And although he started our stage of the day almost 5 seconds behind Loeb with a good run through the last sector here, he could get ahead of the Frenchman.
Flat over small crest, 150. Okay.
Yes, Solberg too enjoying his pass through this historic valley. 5 seconds quicker than Loeb. He leapfrogs ahead of the Frenchman on the leaderboard. Further back, Petter's older brother Henning has reached a landmark of his 100th WRC round. He's already had his fair amount of mechanical problems in 2011. Unfortunately, this looks like more bad luck for Henning. He whacked a rock there, and I think he's damaged his engine. Clearly struggling for pace immediately, and it's the end of the road for Solberg and co-driver Ilke Miner. There is better news for our featured driver Khalid Al-Qasimi though. The Emirati has stuck to his game plan of steadily building on his pace throughout the rally. After the incredible setting of Jordan River, the Ford Abu Dhabi driver and Northern Irish co-driver Michael Orr are back into the top 10 places.
And then left 3 plus.
This is where we stand then after the first morning loop. Ogier is now clear in the lead with Petter Solberg moving into 2nd place and Loeb dropping to 3rd. Kivinen continues to slip adrift in 5th with Mats Osbergen. It's not long before the crews are back on their way into the heat and dust of the Jordanian wilderness. And as ever, the afternoon loop before the final day will have a critical outcome on the rally win as the road positions for leg 3 will be decided. Loeb will have that in mind as he sets back off into the stages. No need for heroics, just to be in the mix in the final stage when the tactics are formulated. It's the same situation too for Jari-Matti Latvala, but running behind Loeb on the road, the Finn can at least react to the world champion's pace. Using absolutely every inch of the road, and now he's picked up some stage marking tape along the way. He's fastest in both stages, 10 and 11, and Latvala passes Loeb on the leaderboard. Well, Latvala's charge is food for thought for rally leader Sebastian Ogier. It is amazing that they can think about tactics while attacking these challenging gravel roads at over 150 kilometers an hour at times, but that's exactly what these drivers will have to do this afternoon. By the end of stage 11, Ogier's lead has dwindled to 6.4 seconds.
Now the gap is not enough, but maybe after the long one it should be okay.
Where will you make your decision? The last split?
Yes, of course.
It's still any of the top four's rally for the taking, and that includes this man, Petter Solberg.
6 right minus half long.
The Norwegian is slightly off the pace in stage 10, attempting to save his tyres for the 2 longer stages to follow. He backs off a little too much and slips to 4th. But Peder's compatriot Mads Osberg has hit problems again after a frustrating weekend in Portugal. This is looking like more bad luck for the M Sport Stobart man. A broken gearbox has sidelined Mads in stage 10. Osberg's retirement also means a boost up the standings for our featured driver Khaled Al-Qasimi, and there's another position gained in stage 11 when Khaled passes his fellow Middle Eastern competitor Nasser Al-Attiyah. Al-Qasimi up to 8th then, but up front Ogier's lead has been trimmed to 6.4 seconds with Latvala now his closest rival. Loeb slipped to 3rd place, and don't discount Petter Solberg who lies 4th, 17.3 seconds behind the leader. Chance to check on the first day's action for the SWRC runners now, and as expected we've seen a dominant display from Nasser Al-Attiyah. The 6-time Middle East champion has used his knowledge of this type of terrain to devastating effect. The Qatari driver took little time to power his Fiesta Super 2000 into an early lead. Evan Benilson slotted into 2nd place on his first SWRC round of 2011, but his run was over almost before it had begun after a puncture later caused a broken suspension arm on the 2nd stage of the morning.
We basically broke the suspension arm just in the connection to the chassis. It's broken, so it's quite rough. So maybe it was some stones from another corner or something, and then it broke here, so we just had to pull over.
Replacing the Norwegian in 2nd was Bernardo Sousa. The Portuguese driver has taken some time to adapt back to an S2000 car after driving a WRC Fiesta at his home event 3 weeks ago, but is now looking comfortable in the runner-up spot. Behind the leading pair, though, there has been a tight battle developing for the final podium place. Estonian youngster Carl Kruder has had some setup issues and survived a spin on stage 11, but he's done enough to hold on to 3rd. Brigade Turan claimed 4th spot after Herman Gassner Jr. hit problems on the final stage. And out front there was a late scare for Al-Attiyah when a misfiring engine caused concern through the final pair of stages, but he remains the man to beat. Al-Attiyah's lead stands at almost 2 minutes at the end of the first day. Sousa 2nd and Kruder is in 3rd place despite a late scare in the road section on the way back to service. Back to the WRC runners, and we're set for an intriguing finish to this opening day. Mikko Hirvonen's hopes of claiming a 2nd win of 2011 are looking increasingly bleak. And there is more bad news here for the Finn. It looks like a power steering problem for the championship leader. And that's just going to add insult to injury after a frustrating day. Hirvonen out of the picture then, so it really has become a 4-horse race. Loeb is running ahead of his rivals, so he's at a disadvantage if tactics come into play.
Sur droite sans vert, les gauche sont plus long tard. 60 cm, attention, gauche sont plus tôt.
But he's stopping. Well, what's going on here? This is interesting. It appears Seb is trying road order tactics in the middle of the stage. It's a clever idea from the world champion as it gives his rivals something to think about. They won't know if he's had a problem or not, so deciding whether to back off is further complicated. His teammate Ogier, of course, may be in on the ruse, and for the moment the rally leader has his foot firmly planted on the floor. It is becoming a fascinating game this afternoon. Loeb is back up to top speed and looks to be staying there after that clever ploy mid-stage, although there have been a couple of small mistakes from the world champion in the last few kilometres. Loeb was probably hoping Latvala would be tempted to push on and take advantage of his drop time, but he's having none of it. He's also pulled up just before the flying finish. Jari-Matti wants to start the final day behind Loeb. Co-driver Mika Antila holding him for a specific amount of time. And they've got their sums just right. Latvala slips back to 3rd. He'll start behind Loeb on the final day.
We spoke with the team and we did the decision that we got the splits and we got the team tactics that we slow down.
With 2 of his rivals backing off, Sebastian Ogier could potentially carry a healthy lead into the final day, and he is going for it. Ogier keeps his foot down. If he's going to win this rally, he's doing it from the front. He's now 31.6 seconds ahead of Loeb.
It was just check the time of the other and take the decision, and when I saw this time I decided to push.
Petter Solberg still has a part to play, of course. He could follow Ogier's lead and charge ahead of Loeb and Latvala.
19 seconds. 19
But no,
seconds.
he too is slowing. Petter wants to stay in fourth place.
seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2.
And he does just that. He's over half a minute behind the leader, but has the best road position of the top 4 in the final day's stages. So after the first leg of this now 2-day event, this is how things stand. Ogier will take a lead of over half a minute into Saturday's stages. Behind, the chasing pack are all very close, just 3.7 seconds.
There are 115 competitive kilometres still to run here in Jordan, and not one of those kilometres is going to be easy for our 4 combatants. Every metre of every one of the 8 stages will push them to the absolute limit if victory is to be theirs. This is how the drivers start heading into the final day. Ogier off the line first, followed by teammates Sebastian Loeb and Jari-Matti Latvala. Petter Solberg goes 4th, with Mikko Hirvonen 5th after a frustrating weekend. Kimi Räikkönen runs 6th, ahead of Stobart's Matthew Wilson 7th on the road today, followed by our featured driver Khaled Al-Qasimi. Then comes Valagra, Kuipers and the super rallying Mads Osberg and Henning Solberg. So this is it, the final morning. Sebastian Ogier waits nervously at the start of the stage. That was anything but a nervous start though, blasting his Citroën DS3 into the day's opener. Sebastian was on road sweeping duty this time last year, and he knows exactly what to expect from the stages. But he has a mammoth task ahead of him today if he's to keep the 7-times world champion at bay. Remember, his advantage going into this final day, 31.6 seconds over Loeb. And here is that man flying through this opening stage, visibly quicker than Ogier. Let's ride on board with the master. But he's very wide there. The world champion on the ragged edge this morning. Those kind of mistakes cost time and cost rally wins. How much is Sebastian prepared to risk? Leading Ford driver Jari-Matti Latvala blasts his Ford Fiesta into the stage. He too is a man who will fancy the win this weekend. Road position is in his favour as he begins his hunt for the Citroëns ahead of him. You can hear his Fiesta crashing over the rocks, covering the stage. These really are the ultimate test of reliability for these WRC cars. This rally is still wide open, and here's a man also with a taste for victory. Petter Solberg pushing his privately entered DS3 to the limits over the opening 2 stages today.
30, slight left and 6 right plus half long before crest, opens, extra long.
Rally Jordan is full of final day battles, and here's another one. Kimi Räikkönen doing his best in the Ice One Racing DS3 to hold off Matthew Wilson for 6th place. It all looks pretty calm in there. Kimi, no stranger to these high pressure drives, but he will have to pull out all the stops to stay ahead of Wilson. And the battles continue further back. Our featured driver this weekend, Khaled Al-Qasimi, engaged in a fight with Federico Valagra for 8th place. As we head into stage 15, Ogier's lead now just 23.3 seconds. Loeb and Latvala are hunting him down. We're with Loeb in the stage now. What can he do to close the gap even more on Ogier?
Et attention, 50 mètres, ciel pour gauche 30, épingle corde.
He's run very wide there. And now he's outbraked himself. He's overshot that hairpin. Mistakes are creeping in this morning, and that could well have cost him the win here in Jordan. Now, what can Jari-Matti Latvala do? Approaching the end of the stage, we're looking out for the red finish boards. Keep an eye on the clock in the bottom right corner of your screen. He's quicker. The difference between them now just 4 seconds, and that will move Jari ahead of Loeb into 2nd place. On the following stage, Loeb hit back and closed the gap to within 2 seconds of Latvala. Crucially, both catching rally leader Sébastien Ogier. This one is far from over. 3 men fighting for victory, and all 3 will be battling for those extra power stage points. We'll have all the action after this short. Welcome back to the final day of Rally Jordan. 4 stages remain, including the extra points on offer from the main event, the power stage, as we head straight back into the action, and Petter Solberg has to push now if he's going to reel in Sebastian Loeb and Jari-Matti Latvala ahead of him. Petter has been the best of the rest today, but he's looking quicker after service. A huge jump there, and he's lost it. He's lost the car. Petter's off the road, and I don't think he's going to get that Citroën out of there. Well, that tells the story, doesn't it?
I pushed hard, came on the edge on the rock on the inside here, and then I went on 2 wheels, had a spin around and went down in a big hole, and luckily I didn't roll down there because it's maybe 60 to 100 meters down, so I was quite lucky to stay on 4 wheels.
Devastation for the Petter Solberg World Rally team. No such problems for this man, Sébastien Ogier, but the pressure is still on. Latvala and Loeb have spent the morning gradually eating into his lead, and he has to push now if he wants this win. Look at that, he's on 2 wheels as well. All of the top drivers forced to push to the limit today. We're with Jari-Matti Latvala, some damage to the front right of his Ford Fiesta. That's how hard the Finn is trying. Ogier's is the time to beat. Watch that clock on the bottom right of your screen as we approach the end of the stage. He's done it. Jari-Matti has taken the lead from Ogier. Just half a second separates Latvala and Ogier for the win in Jordan.
A really stressful stage. Ogier is really good on that stage as well. We need to be absolutely perfect run on the last one if we really want to win this rally. But you know for sure I'm gonna do everything for that. I'm gonna push as hard as I can, and all the efforts and all the skills what I have, I'm gonna put for that stage.
Could it be any better as we head into the power stage? The top 2 separated by just 0.5 of a second. This one is too close to call. All eyes are on Latvala and Ogier. The power stage is a twisting technical test full of car-breaking rocks. The fastest 3 drivers through take extra championship points. No one can ease off today. This is simple. The fastest will win as we cross to Julian Porter and Paul King in the commentary box.
Well, here's Mikko Hirvonen. He has been leading the championship so far this season. He will lose that in this stage, but it has been a frustrating weekend for the Finn, sweeping the road clear of the loose gravel and a power steering problem as well yesterday.
Yeah, just last 15k's of that final stage yesterday, which just cost him a bit more time. But Mikko, you're never happy not to do well, but Mikko might be quite happy this weekend to leave here not leading the championship. Someone else can sweep those roads in Sardinia for him, so I'm quite happy with that. He just loves to take those points this weekend.
This is why this power stage is so important for the likes of Mikko Hirvonen. He's fighting for a championship. Every point counts. Look at that time, 5:21.7.
12.5.
That is quite some benchmark for the remaining 3 drivers, the next of which is Mikko's teammate. Oh, something flying off the back of...
A little bit of the bumper, he won't be concerned. That's the least of this man's worries.
And we're hearing Jari has changed the tyre before a start.
There is some damage there, but I mean that could have been in the previous stages. Not sure. The bit that fell off to me, I think, was coming from the rear, like the little spare wheel holder area. No, it's not. It is the bit of the front wing that's come off.
Well, it's a sign just how hard. Look at that. This is a sign how hard this man is pushing. Jari-Matti Latvala yet to win a rally in 2011, but he has been absolutely nailing it. Oh no, he's lost it somewhere. 4 seconds down on Mikko. Well, this is a 10-kilometre stage. He might have had an issue somewhere earlier in this stage.
This is the rally leader as well we're battling here for as well.
Half a second, sorry, up. Coming into stage. Let's ride on board with Jari-Matti. Well, this would be a heartbreaking finish. He's worked so hard to get into that lead of the rally. Half a second up on Ogier coming into this stage. Looks very calm inside the car, but there must have been some sort of moment earlier in the stage for him to lose that much time. 5:21.7, the time that his teammate set, remember.
I would not want to be that Ford Fiesta. It has been abused in this stage.
He's absolutely hurling it through. He's got to make up the time in this last sector.
It's not Hurley he's looking for, though. Remember, it's Ogier he's looking for.
Yeah, that's true. He's not going to be quicker than his teammate. 5:22.4. Well, what a finish. That's not what we expected to see.
That's not bad, though. That's not bad. He's not going to win the power stage, but he's not bothered about Herven right at this moment. Right at this moment, he's concentrating on Ogier.
It could, of course, be a sign that Mikko has absolutely nailed it in there.
Yeah.
He said he was going to. He's already won one power stage this year. Let's not forget that.
How spectacular was Latvala when he bounced through that corner? He's looking at the time. He's really curious. This man now thinking, have I won this rally? He's got to wait another 6 minutes before he knows.
It's been an absolutely astounding drive from Jari-Matti this morning.
Here we go, Sebastian Loeb. He's kind of given up this afternoon.
Yeah, interesting. So let's have a quick rundown then. Hirvonen, 5:21.7. Latvala, our rally leader coming into the stage, just 0.7 of a second behind his teammate. Henrik Solvik still in third at the minute. But
he's off! He's
really wide by Loeb.
That's good for Latvala. Latvala, we're hoping he's seen that.
Well, this is another sign. We've seen it in, nearly every power stage so far. Loeb's given it a go. He actually holds the best record in the power stages, doesn't he?
Yes, he's the only person who's finished on the podium in all three.
So Loeb, well, he's dropped back a little bit this morning. He slipped to third, started the day in second, hoping to take the fight to his teammate. He's not been able to do that. Half a second.
That's on Herven, that is. Half a second.
Wow.
And he's been off slightly, not a long way off, maybe a metre or two wider into the sand.
Yeah, this has been another fine finish to the rally for Loeb. He's had his problems as well today, but he's one of the drivers that he knows that he's such a competitive beast. He wants every available point he can get, and these power stages have just provided another opportunity for him to get some.
Well, it has, that's it. I mean, these cars are just getting so much. Look at the speed.
Incredible speed from Sebastian Loeb. He started the stage 27.4 seconds down on his teammate Ogier. He's hardly likely to get back involved in the fight for second, but he's giving it everything to get the 3 points for this power stage win. Let's have a look at his time. 5:21.7 to beat. 5:22. Mikko hangs on. Well, relief and almost surprise for Mikko and Jarmo Leitonen there. Wow. Whew. Big smile on the face for Mikko.
Well, there's one to go, so Mikko's guaranteed at least second.
Yep.
There's a worried look. Look at Latvala. He's so worried now. So worried.
He's giving it everything. What a finish to the rally. What a grandstand finale we're seeing here in Jordan. Mikko's hanging on by the skin of his teeth to the power stage, and Jari-Matti Latvala is hanging on by the skin of his teeth for the overall win. Here we go. This is the man. That's the time to beat 5:21.7 to get in the power stage mix, but he won't be too concerned about that at the moment. He's firmly fixed on the time of 5:22.4 that was set by Jari-Matti Latvala for the overall stage win. This is the closest rally I can remember since New Zealand a few years ago when Sebastian Loeb and Marcus Gronholm went at it, hammer and tong. Right, and look at that! He's quicker!
Minus 0.4.
That's 0.4, remember, on the Mikko Hirvonen's time in this power stage. That's not the time to Latvala, remember, but that is going to be good enough to get past Latvala if he can continue that right the way through this stage.
My maths isn't great, but I'm thinking he has to do a 5:21.8. I'm thinking. Don't quote me on that if it goes wrong. No. That's what I've kind of worked out, but he's on it. He's not quite as spectacular through there as what Latvala was.
The Ford
a little bit more controlled.
Waiting.
Yeah, he's worried.
And rightly so. He's worked so hard to get back in the mix, but this has been a terrific rally from Sebastian Ogier. Remember, look at that, really almost over the edge of the road there on that crest.
Big cut there.
Absolutely nailing it through here, and well, he needs to. It was his gamble, wasn't it, to stay out in front. He survived 100 kilometres of road sweeping so far. He's only just lost the rally lead. He comes into this final stage just 0.5 of a second off the lead, and he wants that lead back, and he wants the power stage win to boot. Both these four drivers need to be worried.
Look at his eyes, they're like on stalks.
He normally looks quite relaxed, but I'll tell you what, he actually looks like he's not quite so comfortable in there this morning.
the limit of these drivers. Look how wide he is compared to everyone else.
Anything under 5:21.7, he'll take both the power stage win and the overall win. Let's have a look. 5:21.7, he's equalled Mikko. He takes the overall win by 1/10 of a second, and it's a dead heat with Mikko in the power stage. He must have taken it.
Look at Jari.
He must have taken it by the nearest 100th of a second. You won't see it in that time, but our times will go to the nearest 100th of a second. Mikko.
He doesn't know. He doesn't know.
Wow, what a finish to Rally Jordan. That's not something else. Jari-Matti Latvala, he's absolutely gutted, but rightly so, straight over to congratulate Sébastien Ogier for a thrilling finale to this event. 1/10 of a second I make that in the overall standings. That, I believe, is the closest ever finish we've ever seen in a World Rally Championship. And there is confirmation of the power stage standings. Ogier gets the maximum 3 points, followed by Hirvonen, and Sébastien Loeb maintains his record of scoring in every one of these bonus stages.
Sébastien, a fantastic drive for you this weekend. You must be delighted.
It's an amazing feeling. I pushed like hell today because Jari-Matti was so fast. He made some incredible time this morning, and I was absolutely flat out. I had to clean the road even on the second loop. I think it was maybe worse on this loop because for me it was just impossible to be faster than that. And yeah, I'm so happy with the end like this.
So Ogier steals the victory by 2/10 of a second from Latvala in the closest ever finish of a WRC event. When we add the power stage and rally results points together, Ogier does the double, taking the full 28 points on offer. Our featured driver Khalid Al-Qasimi ends a good weekend in 8th, taking home 4 points. History has once again been made in Jordan as Ford are left feeling dejected. Citroën celebrate. Join us after the break as we get all the reaction from the teams and drivers on this historic day of the WRC. Welcome back to Jordan. More reaction to that incredible final stage shortly. But first, the second round of the SWRC was also decided this afternoon. Nasser Al-Attiyah started day 2 in a dominant position, but the worrying engine problem that started yesterday returned on this final morning. Heartbreakingly for the Qatari start, they would prove terminal. Nasser forced to pull over 3 kilometres into the day's opening stage. That promoted Bernardo Sousa into first place, the Portuguese driver's steady approach to the weekend paying dividends. Carl Kruder was still looking a little raw at times with this spin, but he continued to build confidence in his Skoda Fabia Super 2000 to suddenly find himself in a fantastic second place. Friège Turan was on course to claim third until his engine caught fire on the penultimate stage, allowing Hermann Gassner Jr. to snatch the final podium spot in his Red Bull Super 2000 Skoda Fabia. But at the front, it was Sousa and co-driver Antonio Costa who claimed their maiden Super 2000 World Rally Championship victory.
Bernardo, what a way to start the year for you.
Starting the year with 25 points is perfect. Last year was quite bad. Even if I won the championship, the Portuguese championship, winning this rally and after what happened on Portugal, this is just great.
In the end, just 5 SWRC runners made it through this brutal encounter with Jordan stages. Sousa claimed victory with Gassner Jr. making that late move up to third place. In the championship standings, Carl Kruder moves into the top spot. He's 5 points ahead of the first 2 winners of the season, Martin Prokop and Bernardo Sousa. Back at the service park at the Dead Sea Resorts, the champagne celebrations can begin in earnest for Sébastien Ogier and co-driver Julien Gracia after that incredible finish to Rally Jordan to take their second consecutive win. The question is, who is Citroën's #1 now? Let's take a look at the driver standings after round 4. And Loeb has taken the lead in the title race for the first time. He's now 2 points ahead of Hirvonen. There are now just 8 points between the top 4. It's even closer in the manufacturer's standings. Citroën Total and Ford Abu Dhabi are locked together on 130 points. Still, it's all smiles over at Citroën.
I'm really happy to come back like this on the championship, just with 2 rain. After my 0 point in Mexico, I knew that it will be difficult to come back, but finally in only 2 rally we are almost close to the lead, so it's nice, but nothing is done. Now we are 4 drivers in 8 points, so it's very close, and yeah, for sure it will be a very interesting season.
I'm sorry for Malcolm, because I suppose what does it mean to lose, but I do understand why last year he tried to get Ogier in his team. And I think he was right, but fortunately we keep it. So this is...
It doesn't get any better. I mean, if we can keep this closeness all the way through the year, it's not good for Olivier and my nerves, but I think it's just going to be great for the championship. I think what we've seen is that there's 4 drivers can win this championship this year.
The Spirit of the Rally Award has been presented to Jordan Motorsport for their support throughout the logistical problems that delayed the start of the event. Our featured driver Khaled Al-Qasimi presented the award to His Royal Highness Prince Faisal, and he can be happy with his best finish of the season so far. It's back to Europe for round 5 as we move along the Mediterranean to the island of Sardinia for the Rally d'Italia, where we'll welcome the Mini team back to the pinnacle of rallying. There's a preview to round 4 on WRC.com, along with a report from the official launch of Mini's new WRC machine as we build up to the return of this famous brand. What a rally it's been for Sébastien Ogier and Julien Ingrassia. 2 wins in a row, and the Frenchmen are right back in this incredible title race. In the breathtaking backdrop of Jordan's ancient landscape, we've seen history made on the stages of the WRC. Join us again in Italy when another icon from the past returns. But for now, from the Dead Sea, it's goodbye.